There is a certain phrase that is spoken at the end of every One Piece episode that perfectly encapsulates the spirit of this series. Every One Piece fan worth their salt knows exactly what this phrase is, you know how to pronounce it, and you know what it translates out to. I do not care what country you're from, I don't care what your native language is, I don't care how much or how little you know about the Japanese language, you know this phrase. So say it with me now, kids. Are you ready? Let's do a countdown and let's do it together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kaizoku Oni! Ore wa naru! And you have to say it exactly like that. At least that loud. At least that loud, okay? You can't, I know some of you might be watching this in a place where you can't yell. Maybe you were at school, or maybe you're at work right now, slacking off, by the way. I don't condone that, but I also really don't care. And you had to whisper it like, Kaizoku Oni, Ore wa naru. And you had like a moment like, I can't yell at Tekking, but, you know, I'm with you. It's like, no, that's not good enough, though. Good effort. I know what you were going for. Like, I'm gonna whisper it, but no. You gotta yell it. Yell it out right now. We're doing it again. All right, let's do it again. All right, countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kaizoku Oni! Ore wa naru! Pelvic thrust! Alright, with that being said, let's get to it. This video is going to be about what it really means to be the Pirate King. You know, Luffy reminds us at the end of every single episode preview of every single episode of One Piece in the anime's, I think the anime is nearing 20 years now. Wasn't it 99 when the anime started? In over 21 years of the manga, Luffy reminds us that yes, his ultimate goal in the series is to become the Pirate King, to follow in the footsteps of Gold D. Roger, the previous and only Pirate King before him. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, though, like, what'll happen when he gets it? Because we already know he's gonna get it. Like that's not even a debate at this point. Like, the end of One Piece is still a few ways off. Maybe if anybody that has the Toki know me, you can let me know on the exact date of when that ends. You know, but here's the thing. Like, we know he's gonna get it. It's not a surprise there. But what's going to happen when he achieves that status? You ever hear the expression, like, the journey is the adventure? You know, it's just like all the fun you had with your friends building up to this. But then when you finally arrive at your destination and you finally get what you were vying for the entire time, you know, what's it going to be? You know, it's like the journey was the treasure this whole time. That's not going to be what the One Piece is. Oda's actually come out. Hold on a second. Let me try to get this on. Yeah. Okay. Oda's actually come out and stated before, like, that's not going to be the angle he's going to take. And I know a lot of people were like, is it going to be something like that, where they're going to arrive at Raftel and they open up the treasure chamber and it's just an empty room and, like, Roger has, like, a little sticky note he just tacked to the wall that was like, the journey was the treasure this whole time. No, that's definitely not what it's going to be. But you know what? Let's say something here for a second. Let's just assume that all the One Piece is going to be is just a mountain of gold and jewels and doubloons and treasure. I personally think that that's going to be part of it. I think it's going to be all of the treasure and the booty that Roger gained throughout his years traveling the Grand Line. He's going to amass all of that in one place. I think that's going to be part of it. It's not going to be the whole thing, but it is going to be part of it. But let's just assume that's all it was. They open up the treasure chamber, they have a mountain of gold, and they're rich, and they're like, oh my god, we made it, here's the One Piece. You know what? Luffy, in that situation, he would be excited that he found it, but he would not be excited for the financial value of it. Luffy would not be like, oh, we have all this gold, now I can buy everything I ever wanted. Because all Luffy ever really, I mean, he would just be like, well, I can have enough meat to live until the end of time now, but, you know, that's not what his goal is. In fact, going back to that previous example, like if they were to open up the treasure chamber and they found the sticky note by Roger, Luffy would be fine with that too. Because Luffy is not searching for the actual physical One Piece, whatever that's going to be. Luffy's not searching for that. It could be nothing, it could be everything, okay? Because what Luffy is really looking for, and the reason he started this adventure, is he's looking for something that cannot be held. He's looking for a status. And that status is, of course, the Pirate King status, but to be more specific, it is the status to be the most free man on the planet. Because the person that attains that level of Pirate King has the most freedom. All right? Because when the world of One Piece is a very stifling place. You got the world government that's controlling most of the islands, not every single one, but most of them. And even kingdoms that might seem like you have the illusion of freedom, you could do whatever you want, the world government could literally sneak in at any moment and just take all of that away. Look at what happened with Ohara. The people on Ohara seemed like they were doing okay, except for Robin, but, orphan, sad, mean step-parents and all that crap. But for the most part, the people on Ohara, the scholars, everyone seemed to be having a good existence. They were just doing what they did. And then the Buster Call happened to kind of just remind the world that whenever the world government really feels like it, with absolutely really no justification, it's just whenever they decide is like, oh, we tell you to not research the poneglyphs. Oh, you're researching the poneglyphs? All right, well, I guess we gotta burn your island down. Not really much else we can do here. I mean, you broke the rules. We have to abide. So there's this illusion of freedom in some countries, but the idea that the world government is this looming figurehead, it's like, it's impossible to be a law-abiding citizen in One Piece and have freedom. True freedom. Okay, just to be a normal citizen, let's say you're born in Dressrosa or Alabasta or Water 7 and you decide, I just want to live my life, I'm going to try to obey the law as much as possible, listen to the government, listen to the Marines, and I'm going to despise the pirates for what they've done, and I'm just going to live my life like that. In theory, you'd think everything would work out for you, but not necessarily. I guess conceivably, but not necessarily. Do you have true freedom at that point? The group of people in the One Piece world that take steps to get true freedom are the pirates. And the revolutionaries as well, but mostly the pirates. The revolutionary group is pretty small compared to the pirate group. But you have to figure, like, it's like something you gotta put your life on the line for in the One Piece world. Freedom is not something you get for free here. Okay, if you really want that, you gotta raise up your Jolly Roger and sail out to the sea and tell the world government basically, screw off. I'm not gonna let you tell me what I can or can't do. I'm gonna go on an epic journey, and I'm gonna, whatever that journey leads me to, I'm gonna do. I don't care what your laws are, I don't care what you say, I don't care if you send a bunch of marine battleships to try to stop me. This is my journey, I am a pirate, this is what I'm doing. That's basically what you're saying when Luffy, what he said when he rose up his Jolly Roger and set out to sea with his tiny little crew in East Blue. All right, and he took the first few steps to becoming truly free in the world. But of course, the person that has the most freedom is the one that conquers all of the pirates. And that is, of course, Goldie Roger, who is the first and only pirate king. And it really does show in Roger's personality. Like, when he was about to be executed. And all of the members of the Will of D, he died with a smile on his face. But when he was being led up to the gallows at Logtown, he was just kind of joking around with his executioners. I don't know if that was something... I know it was in the anime. I don't know if that was in the manga or not, but it was such a great scene. And it fits Roger's personality perfectly, even if it wasn't in the manga. They nailed it, where he's being led up to the execution platform, and he's like cracking jokes with his executioners, like, hey man, could you uncuff these for me please? They're starting to chafe pretty bad. I mean, where am I gonna go at this point? And he just kind of like plops down on the platform like, ugh, alright, let's just get this over with. he's so like sly with it. He's just like, yeah, this is my party. Check out all these people, man. At this point, like, the damage is already done. You've already started something that really can't end. And the frosting on the cake is just like right at the end of it. He's like, I have a great treasure named One Piece. Peace out, everybody. It's great, man. Actually, there's a scene in the anime, and this is where I remember it from the most. But when Roger was on the platform, he was not actually the one that announced... He didn't just announce the One Piece out of nowhere. There was actually somebody in the crowd, some random citizen of Logtown, some random just Joe Sixpack of the One Piece world. And he shouted up to Roger like, Pirate King, where did you keep your treasure? Where is it? And then that's when Roger had the big epic speech like, you want my treasure, matey? You can have it. I left everything in one place. Now you just have to find it. And then they take him out. So it's like, if it wasn't for that one random dude, then I guess Roger just never would have said anything. But, yeah. So up until his dying breath, Roger was completely content. And remember, Roger turned himself into the Marines. That's, for one part, he knew he was dying. He knew he had an illness, it couldn't be cured, and so it's what you gotta do at that point. It was either I could die a peaceful death in my sleep somewhere, or I could go out like a baller, and I'm Goldie Roger. I've already done everything I've done. I've conquered the Grand Line. I found the greatest treasure in the world. I found Raftel. I learned about the secret of the Void Century. Probably learned about everything revolving around the freaking ancient weapons and all that crap. I made the world government shit their pants, but in just the, sight of me. I left my mark on the history pages from now until literally the end of time. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna go out this way. I'm gonna go out like a big shot, right? So, the reason why his story, and then of course that starts off the Great Pirate Era, all of the supernovas that are now, like X-Drake and Hawkins and Kid, they were all likely inspired by Roger. Luffy, of course, was inspired by both Shanks and Roger. So, all of this just culminated into a whole new era. That's what Roger started. In fact, if we're going to go along with the line of reasoning that Roger started the Great Pirate Era, and then Blackbeard started the current era we're in right now, I don't know if you want to call it the era of darkness or whatever, then Luffy is definitely going to bring us back around again. And when Luffy becomes the Pirate King, he's definitely going to be the one that's going to be like, because Luffy would not want this to end, okay? Even though his journey is over, and he found what he was looking for, he would not want that that adventure to just disappear from the world. So that made me start thinking, like, I wouldn't be surprised if Luffy did something similar to Roger, where he maybe got his treasure, or somebody took the One Piece and he moved it to another location. Like, well, I have to make sure the next adventure has something to do. It's just like, because Roger and Luffy are so similar. They're pretty much like the exact same person. Not to say they're like related by blood or something. I don't think they are. If they are related by blood, you could say it's like the D clan, and it's been like from like hundreds and hundreds of years ago. They might have like a common ancestor or something, but I'm not saying like it's revealed that Roger was Luffy's great-grandfather the entire time, or his granduncle or something. We're not going to find anything like that out, but they might be related if you go back far enough in the D clan. But yeah, that's what Luffy wants, though, and he would not be the kind of person that would just find the One Piece, take up his title as I'm king of the pirates, and then what? Just, I'm gonna sit on my throne now? So, I mean, like, I don't want to go dark with it and say that after Luffy becomes the Pirate King and after he finds the One Piece, that's going to lead to his inevitable death. Like, he's going to go out exactly like Roger. I mean, look, here's the thing. I don't think Oda would do that, considering how popular One Piece is and everything. I mean, hey, he would have to have some balls to do it. I mean, it would make perfect sense. You can't say that it wouldn't, just to kind of come full circle. Like, Roger found the One Piece, he set Luffy out on this adventure, he began the Great Pirate Era, and then he died with a smile on his face. You can't tell me that it wouldn't be poetic for Luffy to find it and then go out the exact same way, or in a similar way to Roger. I don't think, at that point, because I wouldn't even consider it retreading or anything, like, oh, he's gonna die the exact same way Roger would. Considering this series is gone on, for 21 years plus now, and it's not even close to finishing, once we finally get to that point, you understand that One Piece is probably easily going to be about 25 years. I think 25 years minimum. Okay, I still think that's, it might be close to ending in 4 or 5 years, but I still don't want to even put money on that. But if that's the case, we're talking like a quarter of a century here. I would kind of be okay with that. But if not, I could see him attaining this. He's not just gonna like take the title and just like, I'm the king now, you'll listen to me. That's not what he's about. That's not what he wants. More than anything, and I mean, I have no idea what Oda's planning on doing here. Like, the One Piece might not be the end-all be-all. It might not be like, the Straw Hats got the One Piece, and then wrap up chapters, and then the end. We've already heard that there's going to be, when the One Piece is discovered, there's going to be a big epic war that's going to make even Marineford look, it's going to look like a kiddie pool in comparison, like a bunch of toddlers fighting on the playground compared to this, like the Throne War or whatever. But I don't know if that's going to be like you know, the Straw Hats arrive at Raftel, and before they even have a chance to find the One Piece, that's when the war breaks out, or they do find it and then the war breaks out. I have no idea how it's gonna work, but it might not be like, find the One Piece, Luffy becomes king, end of series. It might be, find the One Piece, epic giant war arc, and then after the war arc is over, Luffy finally gets the One Piece, becomes king of the pirates, and there might be something after that. Like, they decide to start a whole new adventure. They learn about something else in the world that they never knew about, something that even Roger couldn't accomplish. And Luffy decides, you know, I'm gonna follow in his memory, and I'm gonna start, like, I was following up in Roger's memory so far. I was doing what I wanted to do, what Roger did, and I wanted to attain the status that he had. But now I'm going to do something I'm going to write my own chapter of this book. I'm going to do something that even Roger couldn't do. I'm going to do a whole new adventure. And then maybe that'll cycle it back around. Like, Luffy starts his own adventure, and then the next generation shows up, like maybe the person that Luffy's gonna give the straw hat to. Like, Luffy's like a 60-year-old dude, and he gives his hat to the next person in line, because that's the story of One Piece. It's all about like a legacy. And even by the way, even if it's like at the end of One Piece, the world government is truly dismantled and it's a better world now, I still wouldn't want the story to end. I wouldn't be like, you know, let's say the Will of D, you know, began to take down the government. That's the whole reason the Will of D exists, to be the antithesis of the government. And let's say they finally succeed during Luffy's lifetime. They take down the world government, it's removed, and the world is a brighter place. I still wouldn't want it to be like, well, we accomplished what the Will of D wanted to do this whole time. Alright, guess I'm gonna just set this straw hat in a little framed case and just, everything's good now. And I would still want it to be passed down to someone else. You know, oh, and by the way, I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying something. I'll show you. Straw hat, right? It's just an ordinary straw hat. I actually bought this at Dollar Tree. Put it on your head here, okay. It's just an ordinary crown. I actually ordered this off Amazon, off of some just random party store, but, it's like a perfect fit. My mind was blown when I found that out. I'm like, wait a second. Like, I'm not saying Roger had a literal crown. I mean, he probably did have because he amassed so much wealth over the years. I'm sure he had a crown somewhere in his treasure. So if they do open up the treasure chamber on Raftel and they find like a bunch of gold and diamonds and doubloons, and, you know, meanwhile Nami's having a seizure in the background, they find a crown, and it would be pretty awesome for Luffy to pick up that crown and just slap it on top of his straw hat, like, I am the king of the pirates at last, you know, just like a striking and epic little pose there. But yeah, what would it mean for the rest of the world, though? What would it exactly mean? Like, what, like, because Roger became king of the pirates, and then he was taken out pretty much right after that. After, like, not long after he found Raftel, and after that, he dismantled the Roger pirates. He turned himself into the Marines, and that was all she wrote on Roger. So Roger did not really have a lot of time to reap the benefits, I guess, of being king of the pirates. He became the most free man in the world, but didn't really get a chance to enjoy it in that sense. I guess in a way he did, because he got to stick it to the world government, and then he died, and in a sense, in death, he did become free. But if Luffy is still relatively healthy and young by the time he finds the One Piece and becomes king of the pirates, then maybe he'll actually get to see the fallout of that, like what that's actually going to mean for the rest of the world now that he has become king of the pirates. What exactly would his status be? That's the interesting part, you know? Would Luffy have his own little territory that he would rule over? I don't think he would. I don't want to, look, you know what? Time travel exists in One Piece now, so I'm gonna say it, alright? You don't have to agree with this. You don't have to think this is a good idea. You really don't. This is more of just, like, I'm a big fan of sci-fi, fantasy, and all that. You already know where this is going. You know what I'm going to say. I've said it before, and I know some people are like, Matt, that's the stupidest idea ever. I just don't feel like that belongs in One Piece. Maybe some of you don't feel it's stupid, but you might be like, I just don't like that idea. But I like it, and I would be fine with it, so I'm gonna say it. Space epic. as in the Straw Hats conquer the Grand Line, get the One Piece from Roger's little treasure stash, king of the pirates, but then they find out something else. They find out there's other worlds out there, a larger, expansive cosmos with a bunch of different adventures that even Roger could never reach. And then Frankie straps a freaking turbo engine on the Sunny. They get on that damn thing and they first star on the right, straight on till morning. Space pirates! I know how ridiculous that sounds. Even while stating it like that, I know how ridiculous that sounds. But hey, you know what? If we're gonna have time travel in One Piece now, which is like a very sci-fi-esque element, space pirates, it's not even like there's no basis for it. Space pirates exist. This is a thing we already know. So it's like, screw it. What better way to end the series than seeing the Thousand Sunnies sail off into the stars? That would be so cool. But hey, if you're not into it, if that's not your thing, I respect that. It's cool. How would you like this series to end? Comment down below. That's what the comment section is there for. Yeah, in fact, a fun fact, I don't know if you knew this, but the creators of YouTube, one of which was Chuck Hurley, or was it Chad Hurley? I think it was Chuck Hurley, whatever. I actually graduated from a college, IUP, that's like within, like Casey went there, my friend Casey, like 40 minutes from here. That's where one of the, creators of YouTube went to college, but I digress. Did you know that they actually created the comment section of YouTube? The original purpose of it was for people to discuss how the One Piece series was going to end. Yeah, it was from an interview with the creators of YouTube back in like 2005. It's very, very obscure, but that was the original reason. People just started, leaving like troll comments and some memes, and they just started talking about nonsense, and there's a lot of arguments, but that's the original purpose of the YouTube comment section, so maybe you can, actually take it up on what they intended it to be. But anyway, yeah, that was the video. I just wanted to talk about King Luffy. I'll be honest with you, I also really wanted to make a thumbnail of Luffy wearing a crown. I actually had it was based off of just a dream I had the other night. I was dreaming, and sometimes I base ideas off of dreams that I've had, like, oh, that would be a good idea for a video. It's a little bit different. Let's talk about that. And I had a dream where Luffy was wearing a crown, King of the Pirates, and I woke up and I thought, you know what, that would be a pretty good, thumbnail, for the video. I could see the thumbnail right now, and I managed to nail it pretty good. But yeah, so I just wanted to make a video about that. Leave a comment what you think about what it is to be a king below. Also, last thing before I go, as a little bit of a promotion, a shout out. I was on the Ice Game 6 podcast a few days ago. For those of you wondering what the Ice Game podcast is, it's a relatively new podcast based down in Houston, Texas. A lot of great guys. It's not based off anime solely. So when I was there, we were talking about anime and stuff, but we were talking about like YouTube and like what it means, like gaining popularity through the years and like my story and everything. But they usually talk about other topics like revolving around music. They're going to have a rapper on next week, so I wanted to give them a shout out. So go check out their channel below, Ice Game 6 podcast. Like I said, a relatively new one, but I wish them all the luck. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Oh, what the hell? Let's do it one more time. Kaiser Kuoni! Oriwa Naru!